They dragged him through the mud of London, chained and jeered at by the crowd. Once a knight of honour, Sir Simon Fraser was now a spectacle. His body, broken from battle and betrayal, would be given not to a swift blade, but to a torment of arrows. The year was 1306, and Scotland bled under Edward I, the hammer of the Scots. Rebels were crushed without mercy. Fraser, who had once stood with Wallace and Bruce, was marked as traitor twice over. His shifting loyalties made him hated by both sides. To Edward, Fraser's death was not about justice. It was theatre. The king wanted pain drawn out, an example carved into the body of a man who had defied him. The scaffold was not built for mercy. It was built for horror, a stage where cruelty could reign. The people swarmed, eager for the sight. They filled the square, their breath misting in the chill London air. Children perched on shoulders. Merchants abandoned their stalls. Soldiers leaned on spears. Everyone waited for the moment the first bowstring would snap. Fraser stood tall, though bound. His once proud armour was gone, replaced with rags that clung to his battered body. His face was gaunt, his eyes hollow yet burning. He would not beg. But he knew the agony awaiting him would strip flesh from dignity. A soldier raised his bow, arrow gleaming. Silence fell. The crowd leaned forward, hungry. The bowstring creaked, and then it snapped forward. The first arrow buried itself in Fraser's shoulder with a wet crack. Blood soaked his tunic. He staggered but did not cry out. Murmurs rippled. He had not screamed, but this was just the beginning. A second arrow hissed through the air and sank into his thigh. He collapsed to one knee, crimson spilling across the scaffold. His jaw clenched, teeth grinding against the agony. The executioners were patient. Each archer took his turn. Each arrow measured. They aimed not for the heart, but for the limbs, for the muscles, for the places that would cripple but not kill. Every shot tore more from him, and still he endured. An arrow slammed into his ribs, tearing flesh and muscle. Fraser's breath came ragged, blood bubbling from his lips. Yet he forced himself upright, glaring at the soldiers. His silence became defiance. He would not give them the satisfaction of his scream. The crowd wavered between awe and delight. Some jeered, demanding more pain. Others shuddered, whispering that no man should suffer so long. The arrows multiplied. His body became a bloody tapestry. His skin pierced and torn until he looked less man than target. One shaft struck his neck. His head snapped back violently, blood spraying in a crimson arc. His knees buckled. A gurgle escaped his lips as he struggled to breathe. But still he lived. The crowd gasped, some horrified, others howling with approval. They could have ended it. A shot to the heart would have given release. But Edward's command was clear. Fraser was to be made an example. His death must be drawn out until even the thought of rebellion filled men with dread. So the archers obeyed. Another arrow sank into his belly. He convulsed, his body heaving, his hands clawing at the shafts embedded in his flesh. He sagged against his bonds, yet his eyes still blazed. His spirit refused to collapse even as his body failed. The air reeked of iron and blood. The scaffold became slick, pools of red dripping onto the ground below. Still, more arrows came. His legs trembled violently until finally they gave way, and he hung limp in the ropes that bound him. At last, a final volley was loosed. Arrows slammed into chest and belly, driving deep. Fraser shuddered violently, his body jerking like a puppet cut from its strings. His head fell forward. The silence of death spread across the scaffold. But his torment was not finished. His body, riddled with arrows, was displayed for days, left to rot in public as a warning. crows descended, tearing at his wounds. His flesh, once armored in battle, was now consumed by scavengers. Edward's message was clear. No man, however noble, could stand against him. Fraser's execution was designed not just to kill, but to crush the spirit of a nation. His broken body became the language of fear, written in blood. Yet cruelty has strange consequences. Instead of silencing the Scots, it fueled their rage. Men whispered of Fraser's silence under torment, of his refusal to scream. His agony became legend. His suffering transformed into fuel for rebellion. His death reminds us of the razor's edge between justice and savagery. Was this punishment or pure spectacle? The English believed arrows could end resistance, but terror often hardens resolve. Fraser's silence still echoes across the centuries. Would you have endured it? Could you face arrow after arrow without breaking? Or would the crowd have feasted on your screams? In his silence, Fraser defied his executioners one last time. His blood brought not fear, but defiance. Tell me, what do you think of this death? Does it horrify you or inspire you? And if you thought this execution was brutal, wait until you hear of the nobleman who starved in a tower alongside his children. The tale of Count Ugolino awaits.